We're back on a boat. After what feels like way too long, we are back on a boat, on a motorboat. We're on Locaboat Holidays, which is a company that rents out motorboats to go around the rivers of the French canals. We have decided to start in a town called Agen, and we will give you a full tour of the boat and all the details and descriptions of it. Any websites that we talk about or anything will be in the description, but I want to jump right into day one and traveling. So the big thing about the canals is locks, and you might have seen some videos on these. They're also in the narrow boats in the UK, but this is our first experience with them, so we're very excited. So basically, we are starting in the town of Agen, and the plan is today to go through, so we're right here, and we're gonna go actually over a bridge, which is gonna be very, very cool. And the first 4 locks are right here. And the idea basically is we're gonna follow this canal all the way up here to Bouzet. So that is our first stop for the day, and basically the Locaboat gives you a ton. We have binders and binders of information and route planning that we've been doing all day, but basically it's a 6-hour motor today, which is one of the longest ones. Usually the towns are about 3 to 4 hours apart. We are basically on tributaries of the Garonne River. So the main tributary we're going to be taking for this week is going to be the Canal du Garonne, and then the second week we may be taking a second tributary called Bais. So apologies for mispronunciation if I am making any, but it's really exciting. We're going to do this for 2 whole weeks. It's going to be a very immersive opportunity. Garonne is of course known for its history, but also really known for a lot of wines. We are in kind of Bordeaux country, but there's so many more wines outside of Bordeaux that are local wineries that we're going to hit. We've got bicycles rented, we've got trails picked out. And I'm so happy to be back on a boat. Very, very happy to be. But yeah, I think it's time to go. First trip of the day done, and right behind us is a restaurant where we're going to have dinner. So it's riverboating, I tell you. Very, very cool so far. We're going to enjoy this town for the next day or two, check out the local vineyard, pick up a few bottles of wine for the trip, and then continue on our journey. Another town, another boulangerie. So this has become kind of our nice habit, which is wake up in the morning and find the nearest bakery and get some fresh bread, fresh baked goods. We are at the town of, what was the name? Ma de Agenais. It's a particularly cool town because there's actually a Rembrandt that was gifted to this town in the 1800s, which is housed in a church that was built in the 16th century. It's so cool. It's so cool how close you can get. So that is a Rembrandt, and of the hanging of Jesus Christ, and there's a ton of information about the history of it and everything. But one of our favorite things about this riverboating has been just this. Like, I feel like anywhere else we visited, it would be crowded all the time. You know, usually you pay something to get in or anything, but this is just a church, and just like any church, but happens to be incredible and free and barely any tourists. Most of the towns we've gone to are like that, where it's like, you know, it's just locals, and maybe there's 3 or 4 tourists at the most, and it's just so peaceful and beautiful and well preserved. Everything is just perfectly preserved, whether it's buildings or churches or a Rembrandt that you can get within like
2 feet of and really look at the details and you can sit down and hang out, or you can take half an hour just looking at, you know, the dirt that was painted between the fingernails that you can see. Just, I mean, it's incredible. So this church is really beautiful. But I am hungry, so let's go get some baguettes.
Man, I love having a bath rester. It just pulls me up. And there's lots of fenders, but I don't have to run off the boat. Just here. See you later, Dave. See you soon. All right. Get on the little walking path. Let's walk you through a lock. So the ones on the Garonne are automated. So you have this hanging stick thing that you can go forward, and it acts basically as a starter sensor to get the gate ready for you. And you take it and you click it to the right, and over there a light starts blinking. So the light starts blinking yellow, and Dave can see that from all the way back the boat, and he, along with our friend Law of course, waits all the way back there for this signal, the red and green, to basically just turn plain green, which means that that door will open. So the water is being emptied out inside the lock to make it the same level, and then we can go through. What I'm going to do is go on the other side of this, up this hill, and I go over the bridge, and I am waiting for Dave, who is driving the boat in. Basically, the idea is he's going to come in. The water is already lowered, and once he's in, I close the. I start the system up with this button, and the water rises all the way back up, all the way up to here. Then once it rises, that gate will open, and we'll drive out. So what he's going to do is when he comes in, he's going to throw me the lines, and there he is, under the tiny bridge. All right, time for me to get to work.
while usually boat tours are done at the beginning of a charter, actually we have found it really nice to get to know this boat for 2 whole weeks, and so we can give you a tour but also talk a lot about the pros and cons and how it worked out through going through a canal and a river, going through a heat dome while on it, rain and bimini and bridges and locks. But one of the first things is the books they give you. So at the introduction, when you check into the boat, they run you down through 3 books. Actually, one is the binder for our boat, which is the Europa 400 version of their Peniche Locaboats. It is about 19.5 meters long, and it's supposed to be one of their sort of more premium boats. We had an extra guesting, so we sort of went for the nicer one. They also give you a guide, and I have been staring at this book for 2 weeks every single day, and it has been incredible. It has all the maps you need, it has descriptions, port officer numbers, all the important numbers. It was incredible. And the third is a page by page just introduction. I don't know what I opened it up to, but just every single town that you could possibly see has a little paragraph or a page, or sometimes 3 or 4 pages if it's an incredible town, a bigger town. But all 3 books, very, very informational, along with some adapter for water hoses and everything depending on where you stop. So extremely useful check-in. Very, very nice, because a lot of these boats are meant for people who have no boating experience whatsoever. That's why there is no license required for driving this boat. You can drive it along the inside, and we'll get the boat tour started while we talk about that. So this is the salon, or the living room. Very comfortable, lots and lots and lots of windows. There's an indoor seating for if it is raining, and you've got all these panels. And actually one panel that I wanted to talk about is pretty incredible as well. It looks like it turned off and I can't find the thing, but there's a water gauge and the fuel gauge. Our fuel gauge, even though it says 0 right now, is basically still close to 4.4, and we used maybe way less than a quarter tank for this entire 2 weeks. So we never had to fill up with diesel, which was great. We refilled with water a few times, but this was basically 3 adults taking 3 sometimes very long, comfortable hot showers. The hot is really dependent on how long it's been since you run the motor, but it only takes about an hour or 2 to heat the water up. So extremely, extremely efficient when it comes to fuel. You're not going very fast. The max speed is about 8 kilometers. But you've got, so beautiful salon, indoor seating area. We never actually used this because it was always comfortable to drive from up top. You've got a V berth here, and our friend, I think, had a good time staying here. The only thing, so a con, I would say, is there's a nice hatch to let it in, and it's one of the only ones in this room that has a screen. It can still get buggy, so the problem is this becomes a bit of like a lightning magnifying glass. It lets light in constantly. If it's really, really sunny, it makes this room really hot. So it was an issue that our friend had when it came to this hatch. I do wish that the other windows had screens, but yeah. Again, like I said, V-berth. You've got a desk that you can sit on and a bathroom of your own. So pretty comfortable, I would say. Very, very roomy. You can even get some work done here. And the height difference, I'm 5'4", and so someone who's tall is going to enjoy this boat. But if we go down to the galley, spacious galley, lots, and they've got their own window. They give you a lot of things. They give you almost all the cooking utensils and the cooking implements you need, a bottle opener, glasses, the whole shebang, multiple coffee and tea makers and espresso makers.
we had a great time, and a very, very nicely sized fridge. And going into our bedroom, very spacious bedroom, and a bed that you can get out on both sides, which is a very, very big plus. Again, 2 hatches that we are the only things that have a screen on them, which is great, but the other windows don't. So anytime we left those open and we left lights on at night, especially at sunset, we used to get very, very buggy. No overhead hatches in this one. So it's been hotter in France than it has ever been. So I can understand why this would have been a uniquely us issue. And we rented it for 2 weeks, which is longer than most people rent it. But these boats do not come with AC. They do come with heat, which is not useful. And they do come with a bit of a ventilation fan that brings the outside air in. We went and bought 2 of these, one for each of our rooms, that have just completely changed this vacation. I think if we didn't have these, or we didn't think ahead to buy them on the first day, this would have been a much more miserable vacation. And they rent lots of things for you, so if we had maybe asked, maybe they would have had some fans lying around, but it isn't something that they offer right away. And we did rent their bikes from them, which was awesome. And if you are going to do river boating, I would absolutely, especially if your section has trails that you can ride. Bicycling in France is incredible. It was 90 euros for 2 weeks. We'll put up some pricing in the description of everything that we did, but completely worth it. Yeah, they rent like sun umbrellas and all that stuff, but nice, big, strong fans really saved us during some of the very, very hot days. But incredible experience. Would we do it again? Absolutely. We actually met a lot of liverboards that have their own river boats, that have their own narrow boats. We found the entire experience to be awesome. The boat is very easy to handle. The locks are, after the first few, you understand how they work, and for us, they all worked, even though some were a little touchy, but they did work. It takes a little creativity to figure out where the person who's getting off the boat is getting off, but all doable, and I think after the first few, totally will get the hang of it. Really, really enjoyed it. Love seeing a country this way. I feel like sailing allows us to see a country, from its ports, from the outside. Riverboating allows you to see the country from the inside out, which I think is really, really amazing, and something to consider for anybody who wants to live on the water and maybe doesn't, maybe sailing is not their thing, or maybe it's not their only thing. But yes, incredible time. It's time to get off the boat, but yeah, it's been worth it. Off to our next adventure.
Premier fait des nœuds de ficelle, relie les portes de ceux et celles qui dressent des châteaux dans les airs, dessinent leurs plans.